Do you want to go for a run? Alright, let's go. Norton, do you think maybe we need to consider wearing something other than black and white all the time? Yeah. Kind of a cold, dreary, rainy Saturday. Sort of my favorite conditions for a cyclocross race, to which there is one today, but I won't be making it. Angela's on a long shift at the hospital today. The race is about an hour away. And well, you know, we gotta spend some time with the dog of the family. There's a race tomorrow though, so perfect conditions. The course is probably already gonna be super gross, just in reverse. Now I'm gonna get this camera off of here because it's teetering and could fall into there. Sunday, September 30th was now 20 days ago. 20 days ago, myself, Ian, Brent, and Chris all went for a somewhat long off-road gravel bike ride. I shot a video of that ride while riding this bike, and it produced this clip. One hand. It was a crash that didn't really garner much in the way of a reaction in the comment section, which makes sense because I didn't play to it at all throughout that video. The only real evidence of any sort of misfortune would be the clip of the crash itself. Beyond that, not much else brought up. And admittedly, 20 days after, I can still sort of feel the pain in my ribs, and there's a bit of a change in the way that this rib felt from before that happened. However, the doctor that I didn't go see or talk to didn't think there was much wrong with it and that just time would heal it, so. Trust me though, I'm feeling probably about 80% now. I know that I'm going to be fine. I'm not worried about it. Yes, I can feel the difference, but it's nowhere near the pain that I was kind of in the night after, or like the second night after when I uploaded the video and actually saw the clip to why I was feeling the way I was feeling. So, like I said, although it doesn't feel exactly like an OEM rib anymore, I'll be fine. I just want to take this as a second to acknowledge all of the people who have commented in the past that they are worried about my vlogging with one hand on the handlebars, saying that it's inevitable, that it's going to come, that there's going to be a time that I'm not going to be in total control and I'm going to go down. Well, there you go. It happened, and it will probably happen again. I just want you to know you were right. But the real reason that I bothered to take any time to relive that little crash is to explain why the majority of my bikes are set up in a way that only a handful of people have ever really noticed. If you're having a hard time figuring out what's different between the setups on my bikes versus other North American bikes, then one more hint is this one doesn't count. It's that I run my brakes like a British bike or like a Australian bike. The left side is the rear brake and the right side is the front. It's like a motorcycle. I know there's a vlog in the past where I've addressed this and kind of talked about the original reason as to why I started doing a Moto British Australian brake setup on my bikes. And that simply came from an Instagram bike builders account named Skunkworks from Australia. He had a thing going on called Cablegasm, and I absolutely loved all of the front end shots of bikes that were cablegasmed, where the cables weren't crossing over, they weren't touching each other, they all just neatly went to all of the bosses they needed to go to, and it made that front end look so clean. Yeah, I swapped the order of my brakes purely out of vanity. Now, since making that video and admitting that I had done it purely for vanity, two new, very useful reasons have popped up for having my brakes set up the way they are. Number one showed up. In cross, as you're approaching a barrier, it's not uncommon to be in this position. And being a rider that dismounts to the left, it's nice to have a lever that goes to the rear brake that makes it a little nicer, safer, and easier to check my speed with a little bit of a brake pull if I'm coming into a barrier far faster than I'm comfortable with. It kind of gives you that bit of a security blanket without having to leave your right hand on the handlebars. You can just get ready for the dismount, check your speed if you need to, unclip, run the barrier without losing much in the way of momentum because your hand's already on the top tube and you still were able to safely check speed. To be honest, I don't know if barriers were ever really a problem before I swapped my brakes, but I do see myself using this method all the time now. Second thing is I'm a right-handed cycling vlogger. When things start to get a little too fast or a little too sketchy, generally there's a camera in this hand. And the only thing I've got to slow me down is my left hand. Didn't even really clue into this until I crashed while riding that Schwinn with normally set up brakes. I guess over time it had just kind of become so second nature for me able to just check speed, make sure things were under control while having one hand on the camera, that when I went to go grab a handful of brake on a hydraulic front on loose gravel, there was just no chance. Of course I went down. It doesn't happen very often, but I sure do love when something I've done for maybe a stupid reason turned out to have great consequences. I just remember thinking that it'd be the reversing of the brakes that would hurt me, not the standard North American ones. Funny how that works. Oh, and speaking of cross, there will be a cyclocross race video tomorrow. Can't believe I used to hang out in here with just this much light.